They added top surgery scars and binders into the game.
Black people can't marry white people.
So sad!
Fixed Genshin Impact characters by making them black.
Black and brown represent the queer and trans people.
Bunch of angry old white men.
A non-white, non-straight girl.
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Not her. I'm a they.
Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reading your responses. I asked you all to tell me some different shows, different movies, some celebrities where you saw a political shift. Perhaps you were part of a fandom where you saw a lot of woke ideology being pushed. I'm going to be reading those responses today, but before we start, please make sure you are subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Australian TV is making a shift, particularly kids TV. Okay, we're going to look up some of these. I've got my popcorn. Let's watch.
What are you doing?
That's not music. It's a cry for help.
That's a zop.
So that's definitely a they, them.
Bandcamp is the first place where I feel like I've met people like me.
I can't.
This isn't a problem, it's an opportunity. You said it, sister.
What are they wearing? Is this like one big GSA club or something?
Turn up the volume.
Heartbreak High, I started to watch it because I heard that they have an autistic character. I'm autistic, and I thought it would be cool to check it out. I first started watching it when I was woke and loved it. Now season 2 has come out and I'm not woke anymore and it makes my brain bleed. Okay, let's look it up. Heartbreak High being peak comedy. Let's watch.
Do you want something gay to wear?
Yes, please.
There's a man outside exposing himself. I saw his pig.
Oh, really? Isn't everything huge?
Are these supposed to be high schoolers? What is going on?
Twinks.
Kiss me. What?
Maybe not.
No, I don't.
This is peak comedy? Velma, that's another example of where they take high school students and they sexualize everything. Okay, and they have them like half naked in the shower, in the locker rooms, and finally this sort of thing is getting backlash. We could see that with things like Euphoria. People are actually speaking out against this. And for the longest time, no one had a problem with it as long as they made the characters queer. Because then for some reason it's totally fine for people to write these characters who are minors and put them in these sexual situations. No. It doesn't make it fine. I'm an Olivia Rodrigo fan and going to her concert in a week, but her recent act of giving out abortion pills at her concert to young fans is rather concerning. Should I separate the art and the artist or not? Why is she giving out abortion pills? Because I know her audience, her fans, a lot of them are just much younger, like young teenage girls, right? What kind of message is that sending? And as for separating the art from the artist, I think at least then the fans who disagree with her, they should make that known, that that's kind of creepy.
Reportedly no longer allowing abortion funds to hand out contraceptives on her Guts World Tour. Pills and condoms being given out at Rodrigo's show in St. Louis by the Missouri Abortion Fund.
Oh no! How will people get their contraceptives if Olivia Rodrigo is not allowed to hand them out? Person says, everything, I'm just expecting Mickey Mouse to break up with Minnie because he realizes he's in love with Goofy. The Sims 4 franchise. The Sims were already fairly liberal. Within the last 5 years or so, it's gotten out of hand. They added top surgery scars and binders into the game, which makes no sense since you can literally make your sim a boy. They added pronouns and customizable pronouns, as well as masculine sims with feminine physique or feminine sims with masculine physique. You know, why should it stop there? Why should it stop at mental disorders like gender dysphoria and things like that? We should do physical issues as well, or else you're not diverse enough and will be labeled a bigoted game, of course, because if you have any problem, you need to have that represented. But the question I have is why? Can't you just play the game? I'm a big fan of a game called Genshin Impact. The game in itself doesn't have that much wokeness, but the fans only care about assigning characters asexuality and making couples between the characters. It doesn't stop there. If someone disagrees with a ship or prefers straight couples, they just call them homophobic or try to say how it's basically canon that a character is LGBT because it's implied. In short, if their delusion says it's true, then it's true. Not to mention how they feel entitled to change races of the characters and attack the voice actors if they don't comply to the woke mob. AKA don't support Palestine. What does Palestine have anything to do with this? Why does everything have to be politicized? Why? It's like going to these singers and actors and saying you have to talk about this political issue. They're there to sing. or act. I'm gonna look this up as well and learn from the fans of this game. Let's hear from this guy. He says, these Twitter artists fix Genshin Impact characters by making them black, but like, who asked?
People who just see an image they don't like and claim it doesn't fit with how they see the world through a morally accurate scope where representation is the only thing that matters when it comes to art, or even just creating characters and OCs. And since clearly they have nothing else to do with their time, they just take matters into their own hands and just fix any drawing that doesn't scream woke or isn't black enough. Looky here, we fixed your character and made them better by darkening the skin so you don't have to.
Okay, so they fixed the characters. So they were broken. It wasn't right to have a white character. I think most anime characters, they're almost always white, but they take, again, here's the actual problem, is that they take the existing characters and they fix them and they make them black. Okay, this person talks about 40K and Warhammer fantasy franchises. Again, I don't play video games. I think it's a video game, right? But let's look into it. Female members. Okay, so I'm guessing that this like group of characters were all male. But now they're saying, no, there were actually always women there. Loyal fans to your game. They've been supporting it. They've been buying it, whatever. And you're just gonna say, well, actually, you guys are all dumb because this has always been the case. And if you don't like it, the complete switch up, the complete lie, you're sexist. They treat their fans like idiots. I'm a mom of 3 girls. One of them I'm adopting in a month. And as a mom, I feel sad that I can't show my girls certain shows I grew up with for the sake of protecting them from wokeness. I remember being 4 and 5 watching Blue's Clues, and I would love to share that nostalgia with my 1-year-old, but unfortunately, Blue's Clues is not age appropriate or tame like it was for me growing up. There's also Steven Universe I was really into when I was 18, and I didn't mind the lesbian stuff, but now looking back on the show, I draw the line at the non-binary representation, where they have a non-binary character too.
This is my page. I love posing for selfies. But social media can be about more than how you look. It can be about who you are.
That's why all of like the Starbucks baristas, they love Steven Universe. Here's an ad, by the way, starring a Steven Universe character.
3! Hey, when we're older, let's get married. Ha! You can't get married. Why not? Black people can't marry white people.
Hey now.
It's Garnet from Steven Universe.
Kids, don't be racist.
Cut. Okay, people, we just need to get coverage. We'll start again in 5.
This is the cheesiest job I've ever done.
Like, based on how young they look, I'm thinking back to that age. Boys did not think about dating, like, at all. I know here it's 2 boys, but when it was like a girl and a boy, they'd be like, ew, the girls have cooties, ew, don't go next to the girls, right? But for some reason, when you make them gay, they're thinking about marriage. Things are getting serious already.
Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life. Whoa there. Are you kidding?
Whoa.
It totally does.
Just because this has never happened to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Seriously, I didn't know.
You have to acknowledge racism to work against it. You kids better work on this before the wedding.
Whoa, that's just from the script. We only just met today.
Why is she winking? Why is Pomegranate from Steven Universe so excited about these 10-year-olds getting married? Is that her job? Does she just go around grooming kids at the playground? Why is she at the playground?
You gonna try and groom me next? Or are you gonna try to groom that 15-year-old boy over there that you came here to meet?
Pride, everybody! The pride flag up high. Transgender people and black and brown represent the queer and trans people of color.
It's this comment people make. It's like, you're not a kid. You're not watching this. Why do you care? It's for kids. That's the point. Are you that narcissistic that you can't recognize that just because you're not the target audience, you're not being directly affected, that it still matters? That there still are 3-year-olds who are going to be watching that? If when eventually there are going to be ads showing, oh yeah, you like flannel? Well, it's time to chop off your body parts. Are you going to say, well, it's not meant for me. It doesn't matter. Why do you care? How do you not care? I'm a Tolkien fan. I resent what Amazon did with their Rings of Power series. The Lord of the Rings franchise was particularly heartbreaking with the Rings of Power. When the trailer came out, we all saw that it was going to be horrible. Casting DEI requirements resulted in black elves and black dwarves. I hope I don't need to explain why mythological creatures inspired by Nordic medieval European folklore aren't supposed to be black. By the way, not even black people liked it. Watch the hilarious intro of the video Black Elves Dwarves in Lord of the Rings by Fatal J.
What is this? Look at my dude. They making them elves now? He got a fade like me. And look at her. Look like something straight out of an Egyptian show. Y'all got Tolkien doing base jumping inside his grave.
I'm glad that there are black fans who are speaking up against this as well, because it's so lazy to do this. You can write original characters, you can create new stories and have black characters. You can have Asian characters, you can have whatever race characters. But if you have an existing character, why race swap them? They're already established. People know them as a certain gender, a certain race, a certain age. Dwarves would be white because they live underground, so there would not be melanin in their skin. Elves were described as fair-skinned. All they had to do was show some Easterlings as black, tan, etc. There are 2 blue wizards that are barely mentioned in the books, so they could have been a different race other than white, and it would fit just fine. Unless it's a character like in Velma, where they're portraying them as stupid, sexist, all that. So they had that one white character in Velma, and he was a cis-straight white man, and he was just so dumb. He didn't know how to do anything because he was so privileged. It's like, then it's okay for them to be white. Grey's Anatomy has always been political, but at least in the first seasons, they at least gave the other side space for debate. Not anymore.
Get a CT angio to determine the location of her vascular injuries.
There.
Excuse me?
Their injury, not her. I'm a they.
I especially feel bad for the doctors that have to put up with this. You went to medical school, you put in all that work, spend so much money, and now you have to go against biological facts and pretend that you're talking to a they. A they.
I'm genderqueer. Non-binary. Got it. Thank you for letting us know your pronouns.
Their preferred pronouns are they and them.
Okay, yes. Well, all right then.
Let's get a psych evaluation as well while we're at it, because maybe this person hit their head. A lot of people mention Doctor Who. Newest season, I'm extremely disappointed with. Forced transgender character. Dumb pronoun debates. Black Isaac Newton. Was he not white? The list could go on and on. More on Doctor Who. Doctor Who used to be a fun show to teach viewers about history and science, the thrill of adventures, and how you can do anything you put your mind to. Now you just get lectures on climate change and respecting fictional aliens' pronouns. Legit so upsetting how wokeness has ruined my favorite show and my childhood obsession. Let's watch this preview. Meet Maestro, the Devil's Core, Doctor Who.
My notation is Maestro. But what are you? I am music. But it's so sad, Timothy. So Maestro is an otherworldly, timeless, godlike, demon-like being. Defies the laws of normal human reality and physics, defies the laws of gender.
This is a trans character. I guess Pennywise is now trans. Okay.
Music is mine!
Because the ratings are so low, this new doctor, he's blaming everyone for being racist. Or homophobic, or both, I guess? This is more of a dodge to the bullet sort of thing, but I'm glad Gravity Falls was made when it was because the creator tried putting LGBT whatever in the show, and at the time Disney wouldn't allow it, and it remains one of my favorites. So thankful it was made back before Disney started allowing all that in their movies and shows, because just imagine the train wreck they'd make it today. Right, I think they did put the two cops kissed, they were both men. There's no like pronouns or transgender or anything, but if it was made now, it would definitely be different.
My eyes are on fire! Ah!
Used to be a fan of the Supergirl show right at the beginning, but I guess shouldn't be surprised where it headed. Let's look up Supergirl. Never heard of it.
One where you said I was the walking personification of white male privilege.
On my planet, females bow before males.
This is not your planet. I'm not Superman's cousin. I'm Supergirl.
He's not strong enough.
Why? Because she's just a girl?
Oh, Supergirl was also canceled. I wonder why.
I want to work for a cool, powerful, kick-ass woman instead of a bunch of angry old white men.
A non-white, non-straight girl in Blue Springs, Nebraska. Our alien neighbors, they're no different. Most of them are hardworking immigrants or refugees just trying to get by. And they have to hide who they are in order to survive. I can sympathize with that.
A comment says, on my planet, females bow before males. You expect me to believe that a human being wrote that? I am not Superman's cousin. I'm Supergirl. Yeah, Supergirl is Superman's cousin. Society supports obese women, makes fun of short men. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter because they're a man. So they're not where you want them to be on the oppression chart. So we can get away with that. Again, in my planet, females bow before males. I've yet to actually meet a dude from the 21st century that unironically says this. Where do these people live? Where do they encounter such men? Because I'm sorry if that's been your experience, but most men, I feel like, in America in 2024 aren't going around saying things like that. Alright, I used to love The Umbrella Academy and it was one of my favorite TV shows. I still love the first 2 seasons. But when I tell you that they destroyed this last season, I mean they destroyed it. One of the main characters, Vanya, oh, that's my dog's name, suddenly turns trans and changes her name to Victor, even though Vanya is a male name in Russia. I don't know. And there's literally no context behind it. What? Both are male names? So to go from Vanya to Victor is so stupid. Here, Victor's transition, The Umbrella Academy.
Love the haircut.
Yeah, well, somebody had to do something.
Who elected you, Vanya?
It's, Victor.
Who's Victor?
I am. It's who I've always been.
What? No, you were Vanya.
Is that an issue for anyone?
No, I'm good with it. Yeah, me too. Cool.
Well, I guess we can't really say anything because if we did have an issue, we'd be transphobic. But what do you mean you were always Victor? Like you turned into Victor 2 seconds ago, but you weren't always Victor. Can we at least acknowledge that? No? Okay. Yeah, you were always Victor. Love that for you. So brave. I love How to Train Your Dragon to death. I don't care how childish that sounds. But I've heard they're planning a live-action remake and they're casting Astrid, a Scandinavian Viking, as a black woman. When did it become normal to cast actors who look nothing like the characters? I love this franchise and it's so sad to see what they're doing to it. I found this video on YouTube. They did it again. Live-action How to Train Your Dragon race swaps Astrid.
These companies are basically saying that you can only relate to a particular character just solely off of the way they look, which in turn is incredibly racist in my honest opinion.
Exactly, you can relate to a character without looking exactly like them. If you related to Sebastian the crab from The Little Mermaid, is it because you're a crab? Is it because you look like a crab? Probably not, right?
And I just find the concept of the race swap incredibly lazy, but it's also very much done on purpose. This is coming from somebody that they're trying to pander to, and I'm trying to tell you guys that I don't want this.
Definitely check out Star Wars. There's also some like new series from Star Wars, The Acolyte.
Cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, you know, I would love to make something like this, something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think I would have had a completely different life.
There were 2 different kinds of love, all right? So there was true love, yes, the sisters loved each other. And then there was true love, Anna and, oh my god, I almost said Olaf, not Olaf. Not Sven, why can't I remember this guy's name? It's killing me, wait. Kristoff. Okay, Kristoff, yes. So she marries Kristoff. That's a heterosexual relationship. As a queer person, you watch Frozen and you could finally understand it. Why? What does you being queer and the sisters have anything to do with each other? Girl, Star Wars New Jedi World Order?
Permeate that patriarchy, that power structure, and is that a part of the calculation of your art as well, and what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
If the roles were reversed, there would be a whole harassment investigation. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you like making women uncomfortable? But her liking to make men uncomfortable, that's fine. Ah, funny. Clap! Clap if you're a feminist. There's also going to be a new game, Assassin's Creed game, and they're gonna have a black samurai. Look to find like the one exception, the one black samurai, and they have to make it about him. Asian people are not as high up on the oppression chart, so it's fine. Just talked about this when we were speaking about Shogun or Shogun, and people were upset that there weren't any black samurai. This is newer, look at this. So Disney will no longer hold meet and greets with the beloved fairy. They cited the portrayal of an unrealistic body image as one of their reasons. I'm sorry, what? Tinkerbell is like this small. She's a fairy. Obviously, there's gonna be an unrealistic body image. You're telling me the young girls that are watching Peter Pan and seeing Tinkerbell, they're going, I hate my body because I'm not 3 inches tall. Every Disney princess should be more realistic. They should all have stretch marks. Okay. They should definitely animate some cellulite. They should show us their body hair. Or perhaps it doesn't matter all that much if we don't get to see their back acne. Because this is fantasy and everything is kind of perfect in the fantasy world. So if someone has beautiful long hair, it's going to be longer than what we would see realistically, right? If someone's really tall, they'd be really, really tall, where it's like, wow, I don't know anyone that tall in real life. People know because it's fantasy. So I think, as we can tell, everything that becomes woke, it's not as entertaining, but I would love to hear if you have any movies or TV shows that do have this sort of political ideology being pushed, and let me know if you have any good shows or movies that don't, that we can watch without being lectured. So please comment that below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and follow me on my other socials that's in the description, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.